The SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, the junior novelization. Chapter 3. I can't hold this mayo much longer, Patrick gasped. Wait for the order, soldier, barked SpongeBob. Finally, their radio crackled and Mr. Krabs shouted, Unleash the condiments! With relish! SpongeBob cried as he shot ketchup and mustard at Plankton's tank. Ah! But the tank just kept on coming, firing exploding pickles at the Krusty Krab. Patrick heaved the giant jar of mayo right in front of the tank. Crash! Mayo? Plankton said. It's going to take a lot more than mayo to stop. Boom! The tank ran into the mayo and exploded, sending globs of white goo flying everywhere. Oh, Mayo, Patrick said fondly. Is there no problem you can't solve? But SpongeBob was carefully watching the wreckage of Plankton's tank. He saw movement. Now what? He asked. SpongeBob watched in horror as a giant metal robot rose from the smoldering ashes of the tank. Plankton was working the robot's control from a seat inside its head. He laughed a long, loud, evil laugh and pushed on a control stick. The robot stomped forward. Boom! 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 The ground shook with every step the giant robot took. Patrick stared up at the robot. He took off his helmet and handed it to SpongeBob. I just remembered, he said. I don't work for Mr. Krabs. Bye! He ran off. SpongeBob dropped the helmet and sprinted for the front door of the Krusty Krab yelling, Robots! Robots! Giant robots! The terrifying robot chased him. Inside his office, Mr. Krabs was staring at the closed door. He could hear the thundering steps of the robot coming closer and closer. He could also hear SpongeBob screaming, Robot! Robot! SpongeBob burst into the office and slammed the door shut behind him. Ah! Mr. Krabs! He said breathlessly. Plankton's here, and he's got a giant robot! Quick, boy! Mr. Krabs responded. Bar the door! SpongeBob shoved a flimsy chair under the doorknob. Got it! He said, satisfied. The robot burst through the door and the wall surrounding it. Smash! It flattened SpongeBob and stopped right up to Mr. Krabs. I'll take one secret formula, Plankton demanded. To go! The robot's big mechanical hand reached toward Mr. Krabs, who cowered and groaned, until suddenly the robot sputtered and froze. Mr. Krabs uncovered his head and looked up, puzzled. Eh? He said. SpongeBob peeled himself off the floor and stood up, wondering what the robot was doing. Inside the robot's head, Plankton stared at a gauge. A needle pointed to E. Oh, barnacles! Plankton cursed. I'm out of gas! He opened a little door, climbed out of the robot's head, and walked down its extended arm to Mr. Krabs. I'm not through yet, he vowed. I've got something that'll make you hand over that formula. Something you can't resist. Mr. Krabs folded his arms and smiled. And just what would that irresistible thing be, Plankton? Plankton whipped out his wallet. Mr. Krabs gasped. Money! He wheezed. That's right, Krabs, Plankton said, grinning. I'll buy the formula from you. SpongeBob grabbed Mr. Krabs' arm and desperately tried to pull him away from Plankton. No, Mr. Krabs! He cried. Don't do it! No, I won't, Mr. Krabs said. Of course not. But then he asked, How much? $1, Plankton offered. Sold, Mr. Krabs said. SpongeBob gasped. Yes! Cried Plankton triumphantly. Stay tuned for Chapter 4, coming up soon.